yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC Championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe, Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, VanGorp ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Sam and Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozier. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, dog?
That's right, baby. They got to play us. Welcome to the show. This is Bengals Talk with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Status Man Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey and the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,165 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why the hell not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Bengals Talk with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chat. So if you got a question you're dying to ask Coach Sam or Scott about the Joe Burrow book, Bulldog to Bengal, anything about Joe Burrow, which they call him Joey, by the way, just to let you know. Give me a super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And, you know, I already said it already. We got Jackpot Joey gear. We got the hoodies. We got hats. We got banners. We got the beer, which is delicious. And Sam, I know he's already had some of this. He's already told me about it off the air, so he likes it. Go check it out. It's at jackpotjoey9.com. The beer is at Brink Brewery. Portions of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund and the Joe Burrow Fund. So you're not only drinking delicious beer, wearing cool stuff, supporting the best quarterback in the NFL, you're also helping people out. So go there and check it out. What's up to everybody in the chat? We got, let's see here. I think Stranger was first, right? Let's see here. Yep, Stranger, you were first. What's up? Danny's in there. Nicholas is in there. Brad's in there. Jackpot Joey's in there. See, Jackpot Joey's in. That's kind of interesting. You're shit up today for the Jackpot Joey show. But anyway, let's get to this. This is a really cool thing. I'm really excited to have the guy, Coach Sam, is the reason Joey B is our quarterback. The reason he is a quarterback is Sam. The book is from Scott. They both wrote it. It's awesome. Let's check it out. Let's get to Sam and Scott. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for coming on. And I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not trying to cut you out or anything, Scott, but this guy right here, he's the reason Joe Burrow's a quarterback. I'm just saying. He's the reason. So
he's the man.
First off, Scott, how did that come about? shades, the whole story. I want to hear
Oh, so Sam, tell us about that.
it.
Shades?
Yeah.
Shades.
You want to hear about Joe Cool?
I want to hear about Joe Cool. Yeah,
Joe
exactly.
Cool. I'll tell you right now, I've been coaching youth football here in Athens, and I don't know, probably 10 years before he came through, and seen a lot of kids and stuff. So we have our varsity football team puts on a youth camp, like all varsity teams do. They put on a youth camp for the youth kids. We're up here on the hill, at the high school, and we got a tent up. It's July. It's hot. It's sunny. It's, nobody wants to be out in this hot sun. But anyway, here comes this kid walking up the hill, has a white, Under Armour shirt on, all white, has glasses on, dark, Joe Cool, Snoopy, Joe Cool,
Right.
and has these glasses on coming up the hill. My assistant coach, Heath Bullock, he tells me, he's going, "Hey, look here comes your next quarterback. Here's Joe Cool." And we joking, and he comes up the hill and he starts out. His name's Joey. It's like, wow, okay, you are Joe Cool. Yeah, that's cool. And come to find out, his mom said, he had sensitive eyes, and that's fine. He wore glasses, and a lot of kids do, but sunglasses for the sun. But he wore them the whole practice, the whole camp. It was pretty neat. But yeah, he became the quarterback. That's how Joe Cool came about.
Now it was a quarterback because Joe just had that it factor, or just you needed somebody to play quarterback.
Yeah, and we tell this story. I'm going to tell you too. I've been here. I probably went through 6 or 7 varsity coaches in my tenure of youth football. Our high school turned over a lot of varsity coaches, and just stepping stone type thing, whatever. But so I went through a lot of offenses. So I'd go to each coach and say, "This is what we're running. We want to run what you're doing. Can we sit down and you give me your offense, and we'll give the terminology right? So at this level, they'll know it until they get to your level." So we went through the pro set. We went through, all this other offenses, the Maryland Eye, the other stuff. And then, so we went, the coach at the time was running a wing tee offense. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow, I like the wing tee. It's running, this the old Woody Hayes thing,
right.
3 things happen when you throw the football. 2 of them are bad. So, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I love it.
Right.
And so I'm old school that way. And Joey grasped it. I mean, he wasn't the biggest kid on the team by no means. Couldn't throw it. I mean, he could throw it pretty good in 3rd grade.
Right.
But we had Ryan Lerman, one of the Lerman twins. Ryan could run fast. He was tall. For exceptionally tall for a 3rd grader, and he was going to be my quarterback if we were going to throw the ball.
Right.
But Joey turned out to be the guy that could memorize, and he grasped the plays real quick. I mean, he, the reverse pivot, the quick handoff, the jet motion, the double handoff. He grasped that stuff for us. I said, "You're the quarterback. You're going to be my quarterback." Now, and he said in an interview that, Coach Sam made me a quarterback out of my play. I don't remember that going down that way.
I've heard him say that. Yeah.
he was my quarterback, and I'm like, you're it. So, but that's how it came about, him being the quarterback. And you said it, we talked about it off air, but Jimmy Burrow and I, we joked about this when he went to LSU and that famous senior year. Mm-hmm. He said, "This is all your fault."
Exactly. Well, us Bengals fans, thank you for that. It's all your fault. We're very happy that it's all your fault.
Yeah. So, but Scott put it in the book. I mean, I'm telling you what, Scott put all this together and all the time we spent together. But he really put the words to paper, and it really reads very well. And Scott, I mean, all right there to Scott. I'm telling you what, he did a great job with all that.
Exactly, Scott. So tell us about how you two got together. About the book, when it's coming out, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm an Athens high school graduate. I grew up in Athens, so I spent my first 18 years there. My dad was the first Athens City Recreation Director. So he was the city recreation director from 1964 to 1980. So he kind of formalized Saturday morning youth tackle football. It went away for a while. There was concern over head injuries in the community, but Sam helped bring it back. So I thought, that was an interesting story in and of itself.
Right.
My dad helped start it. Sam helped bring it back. But when I got to town, I live in Indiana now. I'm a university professor, and I'm also an author of 4 books, and I've written quite a bit of sports articles through the years. But when I got to Athens to do some research, started interviewing a wide variety of people, and Sam and I spent about an hour together, and we probably talked about, I don't know, Joe. We talked for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes about Joe, and then we talked about all sorts of other things.
Right.
I just realized, man, I think we'd be a good combination. So we decided to do this project together.
That's awesome. It's a great read. Now,
Mhm.
one thing I want to ask both of you there is the national media call him Joe Burrow. Like I said, when we started Jackpot Joey, we call him Joey. The reason he's Joey is that's what you guys call him. Everybody in Athens calls him Joey. He even signs his autographs Joey. So is there a difference between, are you like in the inner circle if you call him Joey, or is there a big thing, or does he even care if you call him Joe or Joey?
You've seen the clothes he wears. I don't think he cares.
Wait, Sam, you wouldn't wear the flowered suit?
Buddy, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I wore corduroy jeans and flowered shirts, man. I don't care either. It don't matter to me. You can call me whatever you want. Anything but late for dinner, because I'm not, so I'm just saying. I think Joey's just that type of person. He's
right.
He's just that laid back, and he takes it with everything. So
right. So tell us a little bit more about the book, Scott. Where it starts, where it ends. There are things like that. Where did you start with the book? Did you start with Sam met Joe, or you go back farther back with Joe in this?
Yeah, so there's an introduction, and we actually start with kind of a sad moment. I mean, it's a happy moment, but it's also a sad moment. The Bulldogs make it to the state championship game in high school, and they came within a hair's breadth of winning the state title. But Joe calls this, again, the worst day of his life, right, in the post-game press conference there. And then the introduction ends with the Super Bowl loss. But his post-game press conference...
I had to bring that up.
I know. I'm still proudly wearing my Super Bowl gear, though.
Yes.
So yeah, we're still very proud that we got there.
Yes, sir.
But his 8 years later, in the post game press conference, yeah, of course he's sad and still trying to process it. It's only been a few minutes, but I think it showed a lot of maturity that he decided to go to the Kid Cudi after party, and celebrate a magical season.
Yep.
So I think there was a lot of growth over those 8 years, But the book itself, after the introduction, starts with Jimmy's backstory, growing up in Mississippi and going to Ole Miss, transferring to Nebraska, playing in the NFL. He had a cup of coffee in the NFL. It actually ended. He played 3 games. Jimmy played 3 games for the Packers.
Okay.
And his final of those 3 games was against the Bengals.
Oh, really?
In Riverfront Stadium. And Ken Anderson and the Bengals beat him pretty bad that day, and he got released. And he went on and played in the CFL and had a really good career in the CFL. But then he became a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of the book tracks that in chapter 1, and then how he met Robin, and then Joey being born in Ames, Iowa, and then they end up in Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they transfer. Well, they move from Fargo to the Plains.
Yep.
And Sam will tell you it's the Plains.
It's the Plains, Ohio, is where Joey lives.
That's right. Grew up in the Plains, and then from that point on, we tell the story, from Joe's youth years through high school. He was a basketball player, football player, Ohio State years, down to LSU for 3 or 4 chapters, the Heisman Trophy, and then on to the Bengals. So there's a chronological telling of the story, but I wanted to make sure that people of Athens County, their voice was really strong in it. And so not only in the early chapters, but we wanted to make sure that their voice was strong throughout the entire book.
Now, this is probably a silly question, but how hard was it to get people to talk about Joe Burrow?
It wasn't hard.
I didn't think so.
It wasn't
very
hard.
proud of him.
But no, I mean, I talked to Sam. Sam was invaluable. He had so many stories to tell, and he set up several interviews, and he was a fact checker. As I was writing it each chapter, I'd send it over to Sam, and he would read it. He and his wife Terry would read it, and his daughter is a big part of this story too. I mean, all those wonderful pictures you see there on the wall. She's the photographer. She took all those, and she's the chief photographer in the book. So this is a family affair for the Smathers family, very much so.
So Sam, are all those pictures? Are they all Joe Burrow? Are they just Bulldog pictures?
No.
What are the pictures?
Well, what it started to be was I don't do social media. I don't do interwebs. I don't do any of that crap. But my daughter takes all these pictures. She's been involved.
You're on a YouTube show right now.
I've done a bunch of them. I'm learning. I'm evolving. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
But my daughter took all these pictures from high school all the way on when she was in high school, and she stood on sidelines for all these games. I mean, home and away through high school and then after high school. And then, even now she's 30 years old with a baby and, we still go to the games, we still go to the games. She still gets on the sideline. She takes pictures and all these kids behind me that you see, I coached in youth football.
Nice.
So, there's a couple that I didn't, but, for better reasons. But anyway, but all these kids, so when they got to be a senior, I mean, I watched them in youth football. And when they got to be a senior, she'd take a picture of them doing something, in a game. And I'd say, I want that. Or I want this. I want that. And I'd take all these pictures down, open them up, and there's stacks of pictures behind pictures.
Oh, wow.
So I just take them down every year and restock with new, that year's group. And if you could see the other side of the dog pound, I have all the kids that went to districts and state and wrestling, and things that I coached, and
awesome.
So, but yeah, all these pictures, and they say you post to your wall.
You're literally posting it to your wall.
And I'm proud of these kids. I'm proud of all those kids on that wall.
Right.
Not just Joey, the kid that, Hunter Justice, who, played for me for 4 years and this, that, and the other, went on to high school and, did great in high school. And now he's, doing, HVAC and, he's real good at it. And, he's got a family and everything, I'm just as proud of that boy and, of all the boys that, and that learned, how to be a family, how to be a part of a team, part of something bigger than themselves. I'm just as proud of those boys as I am of Joey. And, like I said, I just talked to Joey the other day and Jimmy, and all that stuff about other things. But, Joey knows. I mean, he knows I'm, he'll text me, hey, I might be in town next week, or I might be in town this week, or, and I said, well, if you can stop by, let me know. And, but, we try to get together, but yeah, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all of them.
Well, the dog pound's impressive, Jeff. If you ever have a chance to go to the dog pound,
I want to come. I was going to ask. I'll next time I'm up there.
It's a sacred ground. I mean,
really?
It's really impressive, and NFL Network's been there. I mean, LA Times has been there. New York Post has been there. So I mean, it's ground zero. But it doesn't take long, to talk to Sam to realize how important family is to him. And he's been able to create a sense of family with all these youth teams that he has coached through the years. And if there's one word I would use for this book, it's family. Yeah, there's all the gridiron glory, but I mean, Athens County is very much Joe's family, and they have had a key role in shaping who he's become today.
Well, you can tell that by the Heisman speech. I mean, that stole the show, and that set everything in motion as far as the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund and now the Joe Burrow Foundation. What did that mean? Did you guys know that Joe was going to do that or anything, or did he keep that to himself and he just sprung it on everybody? I mean,
you knew, Jeff. You knew when we knew.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all sitting right here,
right,
watching the TV behind me, and
right,
the Heisman speech. And we had a bunch of people here as usual, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. I mean, we were just as proud. I was, we were all sobbing and proud and of that boy, and just as his parents, Robin and Jimmy and all of them, everybody in that room, and he's thanking his, even as Ohio State, people, and LSU people, and then down to us, everybody in Athens County. It was, there wasn't nobody knew. I mean, everybody knew at the same time when that speech came out that was straight from the heart, man.
Hey,
right there.
Hey Jeff, let me tell you a little story about that Robin and Jimmy passed along to me. They've been doing, of course, that was probably that particular week was Joe's birthday week.
Okay.
But he went around the country and he collected probably more hardware than anybody in the history of college football that week. So he was
great.
Well, he had the greatest college season ever. So
he did.
Just put that out there.
Absolutely.
Period.
So he was up in Baltimore, then he went to Atlanta, then he went to New York City, and Robin turned to Jimmy, his parents, and said, "Do you think Joe's had time to write anything?" And this was like an hour before they were supposed to be over at the venue. And Jimmy just said, I don't know. And then Robin said, well, you better go check on him. And so Jimmy went over there, knocked on the door, and went in, and Joe was scribbling a couple notes on a note card.
Right.
And so, as it turned out, Jimmy's not even sure he ever even looked at the note card. Robin thinks he might have glanced at it at the beginning. It went straight. That came straight from the heart.
Yep. Exactly.
And so, not a dry eye in the dog pound. There wasn't a dry eye in my house. There wasn't a dry eye in the Plains, in Athens. Anybody that's a Joe Burrow fan, probably in Baton Rouge, he touched people that night for sure.
I remember watching it because I remember the whole story with Joe at Ohio State, and then there was I'm a full disclosure, I'm a Bearcat fan. There was a chance he might come down to Cincinnati, which I'm glad he didn't. Because when LSU was the best thing that happened to him. So then he went to LSU and everything. And the thing for me, guys, when I saw him play Alabama, that's when I go, all right, I want the Bengals to lose every freaking game because I want that kid as my quarterback. I'm like, and that's the only time. And I'll tell you this. We were at B-Dubs. My wife is from Florida. So me and my father, we went down to visit my family, or my wife's family. And so me and my father-in-law at B-Dubs watching the game against Miami. If the Bengals win, we don't get Joe Burrow. The only time I've ever rooted against the Bengals, and they damn near lost the thing, I was about to lose my ever freaking mind because I'm like, I want Joe Burrow. But get back to the speech. When I watched that speech, that just listen to him talk, and it's a moment for him. It's all about him. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He wanted for him to take that time to talk about Athens and what has to happen there and how people need to be helped there. That made me love him even more. I mean, to be honest, it was a really touching moment. I'm getting teared up talking about it. But I mean, that's just something that, what was he, 23, 24 time? I mean, kids don't think like that at that age, I mean, seriously, that's what's cool about it. And that's what one of the biggest things that makes us love Joe Burrow. And that's one of the things that I think makes his teammates love him, man, because we've heard this so many times about the culture in the locker room. And I know Zach Taylor gets a lot of credit for it, but Joe has to have a lot of credit for that because he's the quarterback. He sets the tone of the locker room, So, Sam, you probably have seen that in him growing up of helping people out or helping his teammates out or whatever. What was Joe like as far as a leader go? Where did he get that from? Is it from Robin? Is it from Jimmy? Or is it just from him?
I'm going to go with his grandma.
Okay. Oh, she's the basketball player.
Probably the best, one of the best team that didn't have a team, they didn't play back then, but Joey came from a great family. I mean, his mom and dad are awesome people, and his brothers, both played, Division I college football, and Jamie, I mean, they were just great athletes, all of them. And so, he gets it from those people. I mean, his upbringing and his, and all that stuff. But I do know this for a fact. The football field is my front yard. I mean, I see it every day. And
really? I've got to see this dog pound. I'm coming to visit you, Sam.
It's anytime you're in town, you come on over. But Sunday mornings, I could hear, I get up and have my coffee, and I'm looking across the field back when Joey was in high school and all, those boys. He has the whole entire 7-on-7 group, all the receivers, all the running backs, everybody's over there. And Joey's throwing. They're running routes on Sunday. Not just him over there running the stairs and working out and doing things. He's got everybody there.
Right.
So, and when you hear over, in Cincinnati, they're going, well, we have this new bubble, we can practice indoors. And Joey says we're practicing outdoors. So I guess we're practicing outdoors.
Yep.
So that's the same. When I heard that made me think of over here. And every Sunday morning, after church, all that stuff, they're over there throwing. And even before church, they're over there early in the morning. So they're over there doing it. And that's, I guarantee you, Joey said, hey, what do you say we get up tomorrow morning and just go work on some, pass skelly, let's work on this stuff. Let's get this down. And youth football, he just led by example. He was never a rah guy. Never, he was the coach in the huddle by fifth, sixth grade. And the only time I had to get on him one time in fifth grade, because sixth grade year is like a big year. It's like your senior year in youth football. And I said, we had like 5 or 6 kids that were pretty good. And I said, I told him before the season started, you got to be the leader in this group. And he didn't want to step on any toes. He wanted to be, and let those other guys do it. And it was probably the worst year we had. We lost 3 games that year. And
that's the worst. You lost 3. That's the worst. Worst year you had. You only lost 3. Like, all right.
It was bad. But, we was in a championship game 3 of the 4 years, in youth football, and I've never had that. So, but anyway, so he didn't want to step on any toes. But the 6th grade year rolled around, and I said, "You ready?" He's going, "Yeah." I said, "You're the leader. Let's take him. Let's do this." And and we had, that's where it came from. His mom and dad.
Right. Yeah.
That, I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
But that 6th grade year, Sam, talk about the banquet, because that's where the whole speech making started, right? What would happen at the banquet?
Oh, I got to hear this story.
Well, every year, if you played for me for 4 years, we started this tradition years ago. Nobody ever does this anymore, but there's a junior high varsity jacket. Everybody can get, if you play a sport for 2 years, you get a junior high varsity jacket, junior high. Mm-hmm. Well, what I would do is if you played for me for 4 years, we would buy your junior high varsity jacket with a small A, youth football A. So when you got to junior high and you got your first junior high letter, you can take that off, put your other patch on it.
Right.
And so, but every year, we do a banquet and at the end of the season and this, that, and the other. And kids would come up and say something. And Joey, that group of kids, he had, his mom told him to come up and say something, I guess. And we looked like, he just looked like, I don't know what to do. And so,
but Mom, don't make me do that.
He stood there somberly and said thank you to all the coaches and everything. It was great. I got it on video somewhere. I know I do. I got pictures of it, but yeah, it was, it was like two guys, we're kind of hugging each other at the end, arm around each other, and we were both looking like, man, we just went to a funeral. This ain't right.
So he definitely got better at his speeches then.
Yeah.
Well, that weekend when he went up to New York City, I mean, in Baton Rouge, he didn't need a winter coat, so he didn't have a winter coat, and so he wore his LSU letter jacket, and people gave him a lot of grief on Twitter, poking at him a little bit, but he wore that. And so we have a picture of him actually as a 6th grader in his letter jacket in the book, thanks to Trisha. So a lot of those great pictures, are Trisha's pictures, and the Burrows gave us pictures as well. They were very supportive of this project. Jimmy and Robin read each chapter as I was writing it last summer and gave feedback as well. And again, just while I'm thinking about it, portions of the proceeds of this book will also go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. So,
awesome.
So when you buy the book, you're supporting Joey B and his foundation.
There you go. Speaking of supporting Joey, we're doing a golf outing down here, and Jackpot Joey, Matty Myers is the one that started the whole Jackpot Joey thing. Said he'd like to invite both of you guys to the golf outing down here if you guys like to.
Yeah,
I can DM you later and email you the different times and stuff. But yeah, we're doing 100% of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow fund on this one. So
that's great.
Yeah, if you guys are, it's like 4 hours. I know, Scott, you're in Indiana, it might be farther. I don't know.
Well, I have season tickets to the Bengals. I've been a Bengals fan since 1968.
Well, Scott, you gotta come tailgate with us, man.
Oh, I will. I will be down there with you. Yes.
I know Sam's gonna, when he comes to visit again. We're gonna tailgate too, Sam. We're gonna have some good times here.
Yeah, I'm in.
So, what was it like when? All right, so Joe Burrow. Now, this is the thing that I will never understand. Urban Meyer, I think, is a pretty darn good head football coach. I think he is. Why in the hell did he not pick Joe Burrow to be his quarterback? That's one thing I don't know if I'll ever understand. I mean, do you guys cover that in the? I'm sure you do. Do you cover that in the book?
You want me to take this?
Oh, go for it. Sam's got opinions on this.
Go ahead, Sam. I want to hear Sam's. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm an old coach, like I said, I coached for years, and Urban Meyer was the smartest guy on the face of the earth. You know why? He's right there in his back pocket, and he'll never have to play against him.
That was until Thursday night when the Jaguars came to town.
Right.
Exactly. Figure out why he never, Now you know. I don't know. I have no idea on that. That's my philosophy on that.
I look at how it all unfolded is just mind blowing. I mean, Joe went down there and
I went to all the spring games. I mean, I seen him play.
He played good. I mean, I like I said, I am an Ohio State fan, more UC fan. I did pay attention a little bit to that, and I've known more about it now since Joe's our quarterback. And looking back at that, it's like, really? Like, okay. And so Joe made the hard decision to go to LSU, which, I mean, he's Athens, Ohio, the Plains. Sorry, Scott, the Plains. Mm-hmm. Went to Ohio State to go all the way down to LSU. What? Again, he probably covered this in the book. Crawdads with Ergeron. Is that what sold him on it, or how did that come about?
So that's part of the story, and those 3 chapters that we wrote on LSU were a lot of fun to write because Coach O just has so much personality, and there were just a lot of great anecdotes about. That's one of them, where Joey went down there for a weekend. I mean, he went to UC first.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think it was on Thursday,
I thought he was
and
coming.
well, so did Coach Fickle.
Mhm.
I mean, and they were, and it looked like he was going to. I mean, when he left Cincinnati that night, that was a Thursday night. I mean, he was about 70% leaning toward UC.
Right.
So they were going to go down to Baton Rouge. That was just, they kind of felt like they were just doing our due diligence. Joey went down there, and he just didn't open up. And Robin said he just isn't that kind of guy. I mean, even for Coach O, he just didn't open up. But they had crawfish, and they didn't have any crawfish on the menu that night. But Coach O says, "I got you, I got you." So like 20 pounds of crawfish all of a sudden come in a big bucket. And so they eat the crawfish, and that certainly I think was a factor. But I think maybe the biggest factor was one of Joe's older brothers, Dan, was a big fan of Coach O, and they struck up this bromance from the very beginning. And so when Joey came back to Ohio, he wasn't answering any calls from Coach O. Believe it or not, he wouldn't answer his call. So Coach O would get on the phone every night with Dan, and he was trying to backdoor Joe through Dan, and he was basically said, "All right, Dan, shoot me straight. What's going on? Where's he going to go?" And Dan was like, "Well, you know what? That's Joe's decision." And he's like, I won't use the flowery language here, but he's like,
it's YouTube, you can, it's fine.
He's like, come on, man, you got to man up. You got to F the man up, and you got to tell him, the LSU is the best place to go. So Dan had a phone call with him. I think wrote him a little note and said, you know what, you've always told me that you want to play at the highest level and you want to win a national championship. And I feel like that's the place. It's got to be LSU. And I think that was a factor. It wasn't the only factor. Right. I mean, Jimmy, Jimmy well, Sam, better than I do. But, Jimmy said Joe made up his own mind. Ultimately, he said, I need some time here. I need several days to make up my mind. And Jimmy said, all right, well, your mom and I will check in with you every night. And Joe said, no, Dad, that means you too. I don't want you calling me. And so they weren't allowed to talk to him for several days. But ultimately, Joe makes up his own mind. But there were various inputs, and one of them was, Dan saying, hey, just reminding him, if you want to play at the highest level, LSU was the place. And that turned out to be true.
Exactly. You got anything to add on that, Sam?
No. The only thing is, the roads we travel, and Jim and I talked about this throughout this whole journey, and the stars aligning, the stars aligned, and it's in the book, and me and Scott talked about it a lot, and that keeps coming up. The way the stars aligned, the way he was the backup at Ohio State, way he was, his sophomore season at high school, got to be the starting quarterback his sophomore year because he didn't play his freshman year because we don't play freshmen here, and our starting quarterback moves to California with his dad to take another coaching job at Fresno State. Gave Joe the opportunity. The stars aligning for him to go to play to Morrison Elementary instead of the Plains, which he lives right behind the Plains Elementary over here, a 3-wood and a chipping wedge from my house. So, but he wanted to go to Morrison where he played his baseball that first summer he came down, and they wouldn't let him just transfer. They said, you got to go here. So the stars aligned where he can go there. Mm-hmm. The stars aligned all the way through this whole thing. And
like it's a God thing or something, right?
It's exactly. I mean, me and Jimmy just laugh and joke about it, and we stood right here at this spot and talked about, him getting drafted to the Bengals. And I said, and we both said, it'd be great. 2.5 hours that way, baby.
Right.
We can go see him whenever we want, it'd be awesome. And then we thought, well, if it goes to Tennessee, I guess we'll have to go there. But, I'm like, but this is the place. This is where it's got to be, and so the stars aligned, for everybody. And I guarantee you ticket sales from this area went up.
You have this went from a semi baseball town to all football all the time right now. And it doesn't help that the Reds suck right now. So
yeah,
we are Bengals 24/7 as soon as Joe got here. I mean, it is just, this city has just exploded, especially, after the second year going to the Super Bowl. Guys, we hadn't won a playoff game since 1991. I was in high school. I'm 47 now. Mm-hmm. Winning that first playoff game we thought we won the Super Bowl, as us fans, because if you guys remember the Bengals of the 90s and we can't win a playoff game for 5 years, yada, yada. And Joe got here, he goes, that's what I do. that's what I love about Joe. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and even in the presser, right after that game, he was just steady.
Yeah.
He's like, that's great. I think this is wonderful for all the Bengals fans, the city of Cincinnati, and so forth. But but this isn't the icing. This is just the cake,
Exactly.
And so, and everybody, I was at the game, and I was in tears, 31 years. I mean, it'd been all that time, and all that euphoria that you felt in the jungle. But underneath the jungle, he's as steady as can be. And of course, that's also when the Cartier shades showed up.
Yes.
In a white T-shirt, Sam. Yeah. And so, again, that's another one of those poetic moments that we can bring back to the first time you saw him.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like I told you, I go down to practice a lot. And like I said, I don't know if Joe actually knows who I am or whatever, but I mean, he knows about the Jackpot Joey stuff. And he's always been so nice to us about it. I told you guys about the picture where he let us put the flag in, which if you saw the intro of the show, the picture's in there. Yeah. So, I mean, Joe is in that. And I feel like he's like, he's trying to help us out too, because we're trying to help out his foundation. He's also trying to help us out. Mm-hmm. That's just Joe trying to pull people up with him. That's a really just cool thing you don't see with athletes this time. Most of them, it's the me generation. It's all about me. Joe's about everybody. That's what I love about the dude. I don't know him personally, but I love that guy. Just saying.
Well, I'll let you say something about that, Sam. But let me first just say, when I was researching, the book, I watched so many press conferences, read so many articles. But one of the things that I really appreciated when they won the national title down at LSU, when he's up there, speaking, and the camera goes to Robin, and her hands are over her heart, and to Jimmy, to see the family. But for him to say, hey, this is not just for me, and the guys on the football team. It goes to the training staff. It goes to the people in the lunchroom. He thinks about everybody. He's just intentionally inclusive, and that's just part of his emotional intelligence. And I think that goes all the way back to Athens, doesn't it, Sam? Athens and the Plains.
It does. We're small town. You put your boots on every day. You go to work. And you try to make ends meet the way you can. And he grew up with that, and grew up with us, us coaches, and seeing us taking kids home after practice and picking them up before games, taking them home, and and this, that, and the other, and seeing some of the things that these kids have to go through around here, just to make every day, and so, and he went to school with them, and all the way through high school, and in the hallways, and and you can ask anybody, you wouldn't know him if he was in the room, and I always say this, if he was here right now, when we're all sitting here just around, just watching TV or a game or something, you wouldn't know him from Adam. He wouldn't stick out like anything. He'd be right there with us, and ribbon and doing everything that we do. And but that's Joey. That's how he is. That's how he was brought up, and he's seen it around here. That's how we are. We're just good old boys, and down here making life work and making ends meet. So, and we take care of our own, and we, do what we got to do to get by.
Yeah, it's really cool though that he, someone like him who's making a lot of money, and he's going to be making an awful lot more here soon.
A lot more.
Doesn't go to his head though. I think he feels probably most at home on Monday nights when he's gaming with his buddies from high school, right?
Right.
And then they're just giving him crap, and he gives them crap back, right? He's nobody but just the same old Joe to them, and I think that helps keep him grounded. So, once again, I think his buddies, have a role in keeping his, feet firmly planted in southeastern Ohio soil. But he doesn't have a big head, and Zacchaeus Saltzman, one of his best friends, told me he doesn't have a taste for fame, and he just doesn't care about that, the money and the fame. He just wants to be one of the guys.
He just wants to be one of the guys to play football. And and just for me, looking back at myself, I've what I was like at that age, like it's not easy to handle all this because he's taking the fate of a franchise in his hand. He is the straw that stirs the drink for a franchise, especially here in Cincinnati. We ain't won crap. We won the 3 Super Bowls, lost all 3 of them. But we haven't been the blue blood of the NFL or anything, and the Joe to take all of that, our hopes and dreams and everything on his shoulders, and it brushes off like it's not that big of a deal. It's unbelievable how he handles this stuff. And like you said, Scott, he's humble about it. He doesn't look for the fame. He doesn't look for it. He just wants to play football and hang out with his friends. That's what I get.
Yeah, and Jeff, I'll tell you a story that Tom Vanderven told me. Tom Vanderven, Coach Sam coached his son, but he's a sociologist at Ohio University. But he coached basketball. He coached Joe in youth baseball. And what's that?
Nick McNabb.
You know Nick. All right.
Yeah, I coached him. You played with Joey.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, so Sam's knows him.
There it is. There it is. Perfect. Hey, they're playing a third grade basketball game. All right. They're playing in Columbus for what they call the state title. All right. Third grade state title. Right.
Right.
And they're down by 8 points with 30 seconds to go. All right. And they win that game all because of Joe. He scores 9 points in 30 seconds. So he's making steals. He's getting fouled. He goes to the free throw line, just completely stoic the entire time, just rises to the occasion. And the coaches are on the sidelines and their mouth is just agape. They're not coaching anything. They're just watching this thing and they're just in shock, right? But Joe's doing it, and from third grade on, and when the moment's big, he steps up. I mean, he becomes bigger, and he just is never, the moment's never too big for him, and it started from the earliest days, right? Right, Sam?
Exactly. He and you're talking about his contract, and and this, and I'll tell you how he is. If he was his own agent, he wouldn't ask for Joey wants accolades. He wants awards for the team. He wants the trophies, the hardware. He doesn't want them for himself. He don't want that accolade being the highest paid quarterback in the. He'd rather not have that. I guarantee it. I mean, knowing Joey the way I know Joey, that's one accolade I think he'd pass on if we can get a group of guys around him, to make this thing work as a team, as a family, and get us to that one goal that we all want, that he wants, that everybody wants. So that's Joey. And that's in my opinion, he don't want that accolade of being the highest paid quarterback. If he had, if you asked him right now, and he would honestly tell you, that's not one accolade I really want.
And that's one thing I think that Jamar Chase kind of said that in the Super Bowl. He was doing press row or whatever there, and he's like, Joe knows his worth, and basically, I can't exactly say word for word, but basically, Joe wants to win, so he's going to leave money not on the table, but so everybody gets them, so we can win a Lombardi. So that's just, and again, that's not exactly what Chase said, but it's right in the ballpark. Go ahead, sorry.
That's true. No, you're exactly right. I mean, in my opinion, that's how I know Joey. That's exactly how he feels about it.
All right.
And, we picked up a tight end today, I heard, and we got probably the best, we
got a good left tackle. We got ourselves a really good left tackle
going our way, and and I think it's all coming together. I mean, there we go. The stars, are they aligning again? Let's go. Let's get the stars aligning, and let's get this thing done.
Exactly.
And let's have another great season, and everybody healthy, and get through it.
Back to what Jamar said. I don't know if everyone knows, but Joe's a finance guy. I mean, he studied finance at Ohio State, and he did an internship with Sam Hubbard on Wall Street.
Really? So, I didn't know that.
So, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, back to what Jamar was saying, he knows how to structure this deal in a way to keep the weapons around him. He said something along those lines. And I wouldn't be surprised if now Joe has an agent negotiating this, but Joe has thoughts about this as well. I mean, he's a very smart guy in multiple areas, but finances for sure.
Absolutely. This has been awesome. I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on. Sam, you got any other, like, what's a really cool Joe Burrow story that we haven't told you, or Scott? You guys got something that's I don't know, awesome, funny? I don't know. You got anything we haven't talked about yet?
Hey, I'll give you one, and then we can end with Sam. Because Sam is the man. Sam's not just the co-author.
I love Sam. Sam. Sam is the man.
he's part of the story, and he's the real deal. But so we told a story here about Joe playing basketball. Well, here's a youth baseball story. So they were really good in all three sports, and they would just go from one to another, and they just wouldn't lose very much. So in baseball, They would win most tournaments. They went off to a tournament and they got homered big time. I mentioned this guy, Sam Vanderven, a moment ago. I talked about his dad, Tom, but he said that the home plate umpire was calling strikes that were not inches off the plate. They were feet off the plate. And it turned out that the other team's coach, the home plate umpire, was his brother. All right. So at any rate, they lose this tournament. They come in second. They get their second place trophy. And Ryan Lorman gets his trophy and immediately throws it in the trash can in the dugout. Then Adam Lorman, his twin, breaks it over his knee.
Oh, wow.
Joe, though, is just stoic. He doesn't react at all. Later that night, Robin calls the baseball coach, the youth baseball coach, and says, I don't know if I should be proud of Joe or disturbed, but he's been in his room for the last 2 hours just dissecting that trophy piece by piece by piece. And then throwing it into the trash can. I mean, that's Joey B. Second place isn't good enough for Joe, especially when you get cheated out of it.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
dissected it. That is awesome. I love that. I love that.
I tell you what, I'll tell you one here. We're in you're playing youth football. I don't know if you ever, you're playing youth football. You got 8-minute quarters. I mean, they go quick.
Right.
You get down 2 scores, you're pretty much done. Okay, it's pretty much over. We're playing our arch rival, up the road, Nelsonville, York, and Eric Dean's the head coach up there. But they got us 14-0, and there's 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the game. And I'm like, man, they've got our number. I mean, we've tried everything. We stopped them in the second half, but we cannot get in the end zone.
Right.
So we call timeout. We come over, and I said, we got to do something here. So we draw a play up in the dirt, literally. We draw it up in the dirt. And I mean, we're talking about, we've had 60 different plays, and we're running the shotgun, wide double slot shotgun spread formation in 6th grade, and they're covering us pretty good.
Running that in 6th grade? Wow, that's
I mean,
that's pretty impressive.
This is the talent level that group of kids that came through with Joey. I mean, that's what we had. We had to go. I mean, I wasn't smart enough to coach these kids, by no means. So, and I've been coaching for years, and and this is what we have. So we're down 14 points with 4 to something go. 420 or whatever it was, and we draw a play up in the dirt. We're going to fake pitch it to Ryan Lerman in the backfield, and I said, "You saw it fake, Ryan. You saw it like you got the ball. You're going around the right end." And Joey, I said, Adam Lerman's playing left end. I said, "Go down, fake a hard post, and flag route,
right,
and step and hard." And Joey, throw it as high as you can where like he can catch it because them two are the tallest kids. He threw that pass, and we scored a touchdown on it. Very next time we get the ball, we throw a long pass to Marcus Hall and a straight go route, and Joey hits him on a dead run. And we caught him 7-11 because he always came back to the huddle going, "Man, I'm open. I said, "You're like 7-11. You're always open."
Chad Johnson.
Marcus
catches the ball. We go in there. We tie the game up. So we're in overtime. And Joey says, "We're just going to run that same play again." And I said, "All right, run it." So the play we drew up in the dirt, we ran it twice, and they couldn't stop it. And we go into overtime, and we score, and we win the game. And on a play we drew up in the dirt, down 14 points. And that's when I knew how good that group of kids is going to be.
Right.
And Joey can bring you back. So when we watch these games, and we went to the state semifinal, we're down 17-10 or whatever it was. Down 10 points against Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's, and we're walking out to the car to get a beverage, a cold pop, and them guys go, "Man, you guys are overrated. You wasted your trip all the way up here." I said, "Buddy, we got a whole half to play. I don't know where you came from, but we played 4 quarters in Southeast Ohio, and we come back and beat them." And Joey had the game of his life, and so. But yeah, it's just when you have Joey on the field, and they call it the it factor. I just call it the Joe Burrow factor.
We call it the Joe Burrow effect. Same thing. Yeah.
So when he's on the field, I don't count us out.
Never. I mean that's the way we felt in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. From one of the biggest deficits come back. I'm like, at halftime, I kept telling everybody, I was like, "We got jackpot. We got Joey. Like, dude, anything can happen." And that dude, and that is what I can't emphasize this enough. That is what is so awesome about having Joe as a quarterback, because forever we didn't have that, and we had good quarterbacks. Don't get Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason, and they're all good. Joe's on another level, and I told you guys this before. I saw it in that Alabama game. I saw it then. And I'm like, I want that dude. And everybody's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. I'm like, I'm not kidding. This guy is different.
Can I give one more, Scott?
Oh, yeah.
Can I give one more?
Yeah, Sam.
We're the Georgia game where they called it his Heisman moment, where he rolled out to his right, and he's knocking people away, and he sees JJ across, and he throws the deep ball, and he takes all the way down. San Francisco 49ers at home in the jungle. Mm-hmm. He's rolling out to his right, and he's trying to get away from people, and he sees Jamar in the back of the end zone tiptoeing across, and he throws it. I seen the same play in sixth grade football in a playoff game against Alexander. He takes the shotgun snap, and the guy's got him dead to rights, blitz. He stiff arms him, boom, shucks him off, goes out, catches our guy in the back of the end zone, catches the ball for a 2-point conversion to win the game. So I've been watching this for years, and people, they say, man, do you get excited? Is that impressive? I said, wow, yeah, I guess it is. I mean, if you never
we've been seeing it the whole time. We're like, yeah,
we know what is, but yeah, his hand size is too small. He can't do this.
Hey, the one thing I would add to that, Sam, is these guys, Joey and the Lorman twins and others, they grew up playing together, so they developed this collective muscle memory and this chemistry. Now, fast forward to Cincinnati, and you got Jamar. And now you got T. Each year that Joe spends with his weapons and these other guys, they're going to have more and more chemistry. They're going to have more and more collective muscle memory. You're going to see more and more of this, not only with Jamar, with these other players. So, I think Super Bowl is definitely on the horizon for us, winning it all.
Dude,
yeah,
it's happening this year, and
yeah.
I just the chat's blowing up to give you guys nothing but love and how much they enjoy the stories. Real quick here before I don't want to. Where can they get the book? That's what this whole thing was about, the book. When's the book coming out? So everybody in the chat, go buy the book. You can pre-order it. Go, Scott, tell where they can get it.
Yeah, the easiest way is to go to Amazon. I mean, it's from Bulldog to Bengal, the Joe Burrow story through the eyes of his hometown, and it's coming out in April. So we're only a few weeks away. So you can pre-order it now and have it soon.
Yeah, that's a great month. That's my birthday month, so I'm glad.
Yes, mine as well.
Oh yeah, what date are you?
April 19th.
Oh, I'm 14th. There you go.
All right, you got me by 5.
Terry, my wife is a 28.
28. There you go.
Okay.
Dale Earnhardt's birthday was the 29th, and when I got dating her, I said, "Well, that's gonna be easy. I know Dale Earnhardt's birthday."
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just
That's
kidding.
cool.
Well, Terry's the best too. I mean, Joe.
She is the best. She. One quick story about Terry. When I took over Athens youth football and they said, all right, we're done. I said, well, I'll take it over. I mean, we're not quitting this thing. So I took over the board and the whole 9, and all the equipment was stored in here and all that stuff. We had a meeting, and so we need somebody to run concessions and do cheerleading. I said, my wife will do it. And then I came home and gave her the good news. And she said, what? I said, well, you didn't go to the meeting. You got to go to the meetings, hon, or but you didn't go. So it was properly, and seconded. And so, yeah, you are the new commissioner or the concessions and cheerleading advisor. So yeah, it's my wife is the backbone of my life, and greatest, and we've been married 38 years, and so yeah,
That's
she
awesome.
she is she is the crutch that I lean on.
Yeah.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the doghouse here. Where is the doghouse? You said the field is right by the doghouse, or?
Well, let me say, in Athens, we've got Larry's Doghouse, and that's like the best shakes. But in the Plains, we got the Dog Pound. But we have both. We got both in Athens County.
Yeah,
there you go. My bad.
If you come to the Plains, Ohio, is where Athens High School is. The football field is my front yard, and we've been living here since '88, and so I get 5 free home games a year, and I love it. So, and you want to come down, you drive up one high school drive at Athens High School Drive, you'll see the back of the press box that says Joe Burrow Stadium. Yep. It's lit up in gold until they do the playoff run. Then they turn it to orange, so, and I could sit at my kitchen table, drink my morning coffee on Saturdays and Sundays and look across the way, and we call them looky-loos. People I had a quarter for every time I've seen that, but they get out, and I don't know where they come from, but they get out and take their picture, of Joe Burrow Stadium, and I love it. I think it's great. It's more that it factor, that Joe has, that So, but we love it. And it's, what he's done for this community in this area. And, you stop at Gigi's on your way here to get the number 9, which is the Joe Burrow Western omelet. So,
right.
And so, yeah, make a trip of it, bring your family down. We are a family affiliated town here. So, but yeah, more than welcome anytime, Jeff.
And Sam's had people just, I think somebody from New Jersey knocked on your door one time, and you showed them around the dog pound. So
they did. They just knocked on the door and said, "Is that Joe Burrow Stadium?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I just came from a signing in Cincinnati, and they had a little thing going on down there, and he got Jamar's and Joey's jersey signed, and he had to stop by Joe Burrow Stadium." And
right.
He said, "Is this it?" I said, "Yeah." And that's before they had the Joe Burrow Stadium sign up and all that stuff. And I said, "Well, come here." I said, "You want to see something?" And I brought him around the garage, around the house into the dog pound here, and he's going, "Oh my!" I said, "Yeah, I coached him from 3rd grade through 6th grade, and he just about lost it."
Oh, dude, I got to see this place. I look. Jackpot says we're gonna get you guys some free Jackpot Joey gear, so I got even more reason to drive up there to go.
Nice.
Give that.
My email's easy: AthensYouthFootball@Yahoo.
There you go. Which by the way, Sam's got some of the beer in the background. He already showed it to me, so he's already had some of that. So
yeah,
he knows.
My oldest boy Alan brought some over. Alan was, all my kids. Tricia helped with cheerleading, took pictures. My oldest boy Alan, when he graduated high school, he was helping me coach, and one of his boys on that same team that I coached in youth football helped coach youth football. That was my goal, to get these kids that played to coach youth football, give back.
Right.
And then my youngest boy Stanley, he played football, and then he helped with all the equipment and everything we needed to do here. So yeah, it's a family affair in the Smathers household with the football season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is awesome, guys. I can't wait to read the book. I did read a little bit of the excerpts that you sent me, Scott. And like I said, Sam, you are the man. Thank you for putting Joe Burrow at quarterback. So I appreciate it. I much love. I'm coming. I'm going to come see the dog. I got to see this. I have to see this. I got to see the stadium. I got to see all this stuff. Scott, again, tell everybody where they can find the book, when it's coming out, and all that stuff again, real quick.
Yeah. From Bulldog to Bengal, the Joe Burrow story through the eyes of his hometown. As I said, you can go to orangefraser.com, Frazer, and you can order it there, pre-order it there, or go to Amazon if you got Prime. Some people want to take advantage of that, and you can find it easily on Amazon as well. And
after the show, I'll try to drop it in the chat so people can find it there too.
A couple weeks away.
Exactly.
Couple weeks away. Yeah.
Well, guys, hopefully, like Sam, you're a season ticket holder. Excuse me, Scott, you're a season ticket holder. We got to tailgate sometime.
Absolutely.
Sam, when you come down, we're tailgating, brother. We're gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna come see you. We're gonna check out the dog pound. My bad, I said it wrong for a second.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all right, Jeff.
All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Who day?
Yeah. Who day?
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was an absolute freaking blast. I love Joe Burrow. I love hearing all the stories about him and everything. This is so cool. Go buy the book. Go buy the book. This is so cool. Let's get to the Facebook groups. That let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They are Who Day Nation, Who Day Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and then you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trinipole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'm pulling a sign off later on tonight. Put it on the podcast on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to rate, like, and review. Leave a comment, a 5-star review, so more people can find my podcast. YouTubers, we're at 2,168. You guys are awesome. This has been so much fun. Go buy the book. We have the greatest quarterback in the league. His name is Jackpot Joey Burrow. We're going to win the Lombardi. God, it's a football season. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
We talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back to back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe right to the go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozy. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it out to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my faith and money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.